Okay, so I finally got my hands on it, you guys. The Patrick Ta Major Skin Cream Foundation and Powder. The internet is having some kind of meltdown over these. Apparently this is amazing. Patrick Ta is a very well-known celebrity makeup artist, and I've tried some of his other products, and honestly, they are beautiful. And this newie here is a little duo that's got a cream foundation and a setting powder. It's meant to give a skin-like finish. It's meant to be really dewy and glowy and beautiful, and it's meant to minimize pores and texture. So let's try it on my oily textured skin, and let's see just how good this is. Now, I know you're all gonna want the tea on this. So this one is gonna set you back $52 USD. It comes in 24 different shades. Apparently this velvety cream foundation blends seamlessly to perfect the complexion and blur imperfections, and the setting powder will soften, diffuse, and minimize the appearance of pores. Now, some cool things about this formula: flexible polymer blend, soft focus blurring powders, transparent pigments, and glow enhancing emollients. All of these apparently work together to minimize the appearance of pores. You had me at hello. So I'm gonna try this one out today. I'm gonna wear it for 8 hours. I'm gonna show you close up the texture on my skin. We're gonna talk about the formula, and I'm gonna let you know whether or not it's actually worth all the hype. And believe me when I say the internet is having a meltdown. First up, packaging, and don't mind my greasy little fingerprints all over this. It comes in these really pretty rose gold mirror-like finish little compacts. When you open it up, you do have a generous mirror in here for application, and then you've got the cream foundation at the top, and that's actually hidden underneath this really cool like little plastic flap. I think that this is genius because in the past, whenever there's been cream products and powder products in a compact, you dust your brush into the powder goes all over the cream, it dries up and it goes crusty. This little design here actually protects the foundation, keeps it safe, and obviously you'll get a lot longer use out of the product. So yeah, we've got the cream foundation at the top, and then we've got the powder foundation at the bottom here. Now I have the shade light medium 2 here. This one looks to be, it looks pretty deep, to be honest. And the recommendation on the Patrick Ta website is that you actually use the Major Skin double-ended brush to apply this to get the best results. So one end is for the foundation and the other end is for the powder. So let's not muck around anymore. Let's go in and actually pick this up. Oh, I'd actually picked up quite a bit more than what I thought. So you can sort of see how pigmented it is there. When feeling the formula, it does feel very, very creamy. Ooh, okay. Now, apparently this one will give you medium coverage, so it's not necessarily like a full coverage product. It's meant to be more of like a skin-like finish, so something that's going to look really natural and really, blur everything out, but still leave your skin looking like skin. Okay, so blending this one out, it's actually working into the skin really beautifully. Definitely does look like a medium coverage. This brush feels really, really nice and soft, but I do kind of feel like application with this brush might actually slow you down somewhat. Like if you wanted to get this on really fast, you probably could use a larger kabuki brush or you could use a sponge. I have to say though, that looks really, really pretty on my skin, and the color match is pretty good. For reference, for those of you that are new here, I'm an NC30 in MAC. Blend it up across my forehead now. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. It does leave this really pretty dewy finish on the skin. It gives it a glow, but at the same time, I don't feel like it looks heavy or greasy. And a lot of glowy foundations tend to definitely emphasize texture and sort of settle because they reflect light from inside your pores. But this somehow leaves the skin dewy and glowy, but it also blurs texture. Like I'm kind of like a little bit confused how this works. For interest's sakes, I'm actually going to try it with a sponge as well and just see what sort of coverage we can get when using a sponge. Oh, okay. I feel like you definitely get more coverage with a sponge. Both application methods are really beautiful. Both give you good coverage. So it's going to be up to you and whether or not you like to use a sponge or you like to use a brush. Here it is all blended out on both sides of my face. I feel like my skin looks really pretty and dewy. It definitely does feel quite tacky. So obviously I'm going to be using the powder that came in the compact to set this down. Medium coverage, and I feel like, yeah, my pores definitely do look minimized. Like looking in the mirror, I feel like my skin does look really pretty. Here's a little close up at what my skin looks like. What do you guys think? It's really, really pretty. Definitely medium coverage. And I had like a big red blemish right here. It's completely covered up. That's like pretty impressive, certainly for a medium coverage product. Very glowy, very dewy. Now I am still seeing a little bit of darkness under my eyes, so I'm going to use a little bit of concealer just to sort of cover that up. Let's quickly blend that out. So going back into the compact and using the powder part of the brush, I'm going to dust that in there. And I'm going to set underneath my eyes first. Oh, it's definitely very smoothing on the skin. Doesn't entirely, hang on, let me load it up. The powder might actually provide like a little bit more coverage as well, actually. Definitely has airbrushed that area. I feel like it looks really, really smooth on the skin where I've applied that. Go over and dust under the other eye. Brush is insanely soft. Like it's really, really soft on my skin. Go through the T-zone. I am starting to get a teeny bit of creasing along my forehead there. My chin and my mouth. And then just kind of using whatever's left on that brush to dust the rest of my face. Yeah, I feel like that looks really, really nice. I feel like everything looks really airbrushed, very sort of natural looking. It does still feel tacky. That is the only thing that I will say. According to the directions and the ways to use this product is you're to use the powder, the setting powder through the T-zone, and you're sort of meant to leave like this glowy outer part of the face. But as an oily skin type, that kind of freaks me out. And like when I touch my skin, it definitely still is sticky. Like the powder, I feel like it's more of a finishing powder as opposed to a setting powder. Like it blurs, it airbrushes, but there's still like a tiny, like I can feel the cream foundation underneath. It's still a little tacky. But I want to give this product a really good run for its money, and I want to use it in the way that it is directed to be used. So I'm not going to add any other powders or anything. I'm going to add the rest of my makeup though. So I'll quickly jump off camera. I'll do the rest of my makeup and I'll be back. All right, so I put a bit of color back in my face. I've just used cream blushes and bronzers, and then I sort of set them down just a little, and a little bit of color on my lips. Honestly, I feel like my skin looks really dewy and healthy. I love how smooth everything is. My pores and texture definitely look minimized. The only thing that is bothering me is that sticky sort of feeling. Like because I'm an oily skin type, my brain immediately just feels like my face is going to melt off. But I'm going to leave it because it really does look very, very, very pretty. Here's a little close-up of my skin. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Do you think it looks really fresh and youthful? Like I just feel like it looks very flattering and very pretty. It's great coverage. Like it's definitely covered absolutely everything. But at the same time, I don't know, my skin still looks like skin. I'm really happy with how this is looking. So I'm going to start the wear test. I'm going to come back at the halfway mark and we're going to see what it is looking like. And then obviously later on tonight when I'm ready to take off my makeup. If this holds up well, I'm going to be impressed. For sure. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, back with our first check-in in this one. I've now had this foundation on for 4 hours. Interesting results, I feel. So I'm pretty oily everywhere, interestingly, even on my chin and my forehead, even though I powdered there, but there's no oil on my nose, which I'm finding like really, really interesting. And even though, you know, that oil has come through, and even though it was more like a heavier sort of a cream foundation, it isn't caking or separating, which I'm like, what? Like normally these really like dewy, glowy cream foundations, and my skin normally like give it like 2 to 3 hours, and she's left the chat. But it looks really good. There might be a little bit of settling in my smile lines. Oh, wait. Yep. Definitely settling, and there's a little bit of splitting. I just did my smile line. Hang on. I'll zoom you in so you can actually see. See how it's like actually like caked and split and like sort of settled right there. Everywhere else is still really smooth. I would have expected there to be a lot more caking, to be honest, based on how it feels. And one thing that is still bothering me is the fact that it is sticky. And like when I like look down, like this sounds weird, but I can feel like my chin kind of sticking to my neck. So I think for me, if I'm going to be trying this one again, I am powdering the entire situation, like for sure. But at the same time, for 4 hours and for like how shiny I am, it's not too bad, you guys. It really is not too bad at all. Final check-in now, guys. And as you can see, I am significantly oilier than I was at the 4 hour mark. Pretty much we've got oil all over my face, but still, and at the same kind of a thing as happened earlier, it still really isn't caking or separating, which I'm finding so surprising for a cream foundation. Like normally cream foundations, especially when you get oily, like it's a hot mess. this surprisingly holds up really, really well. Now, what I want to do, like firstly, we will touch up using the powder that does come in the little duo. But what I do want to do is test this again and powder my entire face and powder it properly, like press powder into it using a sponge, because I think that the application method that's recommended by this product is just not necessarily suited to somebody who has got such oily skin as I do, because I feel like maybe a level of this shine and a level of this oil could have been prevented. At this point, I'm looking greasy, I'm looking sweaty. This is way too shiny. Like, I cannot continue looking like this, but at the same time, I feel like maybe this could have been prevented. Fascinatingly, no texture or caking or any further separation. I do still have like a little bit of a split around my smile. I like my smile lines here. My forehead is still looking incredibly, incredibly good. There's no product that's actually transferred off or anything. Like, it truly, other than the oil, it looks really, really good. And it does feel quite lightweight on the skin. It's just a little too glowy. So I'm taking a little compact and I'm going to take the same powder brush. I'm going to dip into the setting powder and I'm just going to try and see if we can go. Oh, might need to use some blotting paper. Hang on. Hold that thought. Let's try this first. Oh, ew. Look at how much oil is on there. You can normally do a whole face with one of these. I don't think I'm going to be able to with this. So that's taken off a large portion of the shine. Let's go in with the powder now. Just see if we can like touch this up. Oh, this is actually touching up really nicely. This isn't bad at all. So maybe if you are as oily as I am, you could powder your entire face and then you could chuck this in your handbag to touch up. I'm not noticing really any of the product transferring off. Sometimes that does happen when you touch up foundations, especially cream foundations. But it actually looks pretty good. Look at that. It literally looks fresh again. Oh my gosh, okay. Because I sort of came into this final check-in like, oh, this is not a vibe. But it still feels sticky though. This powder, I swear, is a finishing powder, not a setting powder. Because even when you apply it and even when it takes down the shine, like strangely your face does still feel sticky. Oily skin. It's an oily skin mystery, honestly. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to apply the foundation and I'm going to apply the powder to get that really pretty blurred effect. And then I'm going to set it with a setting powder as well, because it really does look so beautiful on the skin. There is no shine control here. No shine control. So yeah, kind of like not like a finite decision for a first impression and review. I will say absolutely 100% this makes your skin look beautiful. It minimizes pores, it blurs texture, it really smooths the skin. Great coverage, feels really lightweight, and it's a great product to sort of apply to the skin and get that really dewy, glowy skin-like pretty finish immediately. And like it doesn't sort of sit on the skin, like it really melts in, looks really natural, really beautiful. But the shine control for me is a very important factor. I'm just going to say for this first review, we're not conclusive. If I do happen to test it with setting powder before this video goes live, I will update in a pinned comment in the comments, and also I'll pop it in the description bar. But yeah, this is nice. I think I just need to test more for an oily skin type. But I would love to know, have you tried the new Patrick Ta foundation? How did you go? What was your skin type? What were your experiences? What kind of results did you get as oily as me? Because I mean, like right now it looks beautiful, but my neck is sticky, my face still feels sticky, but it looks pretty damn perfect. But I want to know your thoughts. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought it looked like on my skin. I'd love to know all of your thoughts. And I do also have this foundation to review. And I've been getting a lot of requests for this one since doing a review on that blurring balm powder. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. So I will be testing that on my channel next. But I love you guys heaps. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that maybe it answered some questions that maybe you had about this formula before purchasing. I will keep testing and I will get back to you. I love you guys heaps. Have an amazing day and I'll catch you in my next video.